Good morning. Welcome to Real Change's 26th annual anniversary event, Imagine Change. I'm Tim Harris, the founding director of Real Change, and I'm honored to be sharing this time with all of you this morning. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we are on occupied Indigenous land and recognizing that homelessness continues to disproportionately impact the people who call this land home. Thank you to our sponsors for making this event possible. When you make your gift today, at any level that you are able, your gift is going to support the advocacy, journalism, and programs that make a real difference in the lives of so many people. Please visit tinyurl.com/imaginechange2020 now to make your gift. Gifts of $250 or more will be matched by our generous sponsor at the Lucky 7 Foundation, and you will receive a shirt. Let me see if I can get this up here, like the one I'm wearing today. Later this morning, you will get to hear from Real Change vendor Debbie Nichols about the impact that Real Change has had on her life and how your support of our work helps people like her. Every year when we do this event, we recognize a number of people who have really contributed to our work in the community, and I want to congratulate this year's award recipients. The vendors of the year, Janice Dampier and Daryl Wren, are outstanding individuals who have worked hard as Real Change vendors, and their stories are truly inspiring to me and our community. And you can see those online with the rest of our award recipients. COVID-19 Mutual Aid has won this year's Change Agent Award for their courageous organizing in the face of inequity. Rosette Royale, a longtime journalist and former editor of Real Change News, is the winner of our Editorial Excellence Award. And Juan Montes and Kathy Clemens are this year's Volunteer of the Year recipients. Thank you to them and our over 200 volunteers for making Real Change possible. To see video messages from all of these outstanding community members, please like and follow Real Change at Real Change News on social media. I highly encourage you to see Daryl and Janice's Vendor of the Year acceptance videos if you have not already done so. That's often the highlight of our breakfast. It's unfortunate that this year they won't be able to get their standing ovation in person, but I'm sure that you all wish them well. This year has brought immense challenge, grief, and suffering, but has also seen the uprising of a powerful movement that has built on generations of work, organizing, and advocacy. The crisis of COVID-19 is revealed as never before how numerous system failures from the areas of healthcare to criminal justice and housing and homelessness and beyond have disproportionately impacted communities of color and challenge us to reimagine and rearrange the world in which we live. We have asked 3 local luminaries to share their ideas this morning on the change that they are working toward and how the crisis might offer opportunity to help us get to where we need to be. Thank you to the wonderful community supporters at this virtual event this morning. I'm grateful for all of you who have joined us. Though we're not celebrating in person together, we do have a chat feature, so please do feel free to use that this morning to engage with each other throughout this event. We will also be opening things up to audience questions later on, so please submit your questions for the panelists by using the Q&A button that you'll see on your screen below. So please join me now in welcoming Nikkita Oliver, Juan Jose Bocanegra, and Sharon Lee, who have joined us this morning as panelists. After their opening remarks, we're going to open up the floor for questions. Nikkita Oliver, who prefers, morning Sharon. Nikkita Oliver prefers they, them pronouns, is the co-executive director of Creative Justice, a youth-led art-based community program that provides alternatives to incarceration. Nikkita ran a memorable campaign for mayor of Seattle with the Seattle People's Party in 2017 and continues to organize and work toward change with No New Youth Jail, Decriminalize Seattle, King County Equity Now, and the Seattle People's Party. Juan Bocanegra prefers he, him pronouns and is a veteran educator and organizer who has worked in Seattle supporting Chicano, Indigenous, and other people's movements for nearly 50 years. Juan is a leader in the fight for statewide tax reform and is executive director of All In for Washington. Sharon Lee, her pronouns, is the founding executive director of the Low Income Housing Institute. Lehigh has built more than 4,500 units of housing in Washington State. Lehigh also provides hygiene services by running 3 urban rest stops and operates 10 tiny house villages in Seattle. Welcome to the panelists again, and thank you for joining us. We will now turn to each of you to share opening remarks. Sharon, let's begin with you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is a very, very difficult time. Great to see Juan. It's been so many years. I want to let people know it's because of Juan's report around the need for public restrooms that we developed the urban rest stop. So thank you. How many years has that been? Tremendous. Yes. So anyway, you know, we have to continue our fight around housing as a human right. Who would have known that the moratorium on evictions has gone national, has gone all over the entire country, and we have this clear problem, right, of how to keep housing affordable, how to stop displacement, how to stop gentrification, and we've got to address the critical needs of the growing homeless population. So I'm all about that in terms of the election, in terms of the results, and we have to keep that focus around housing as a human right.
Juan, let's move on to you. Your opening remarks, please.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be in the midst of such great leaders in the community. You know, thank you, Tim, for this opportunity, and thanks to Real Change for allowing us to, you know, expand our audience as we conduct our work in the state. You know, it's been, as Sharon Lee, been too many years that we've been working on these issues of housing, and you know, it seems like the virus has really opened up the eyes for everybody about the problems that we face in our community. So when I got this T-shirt that you guys sent me, I really, really loved the theme, because, you know, a lot of the work that we do is imagination. You know, we want to imagine a better society. We want to imagine a better community, and we want to imagine solidarity amongst workers. And that takes work. Unfortunately, it doesn't just come fall out of the sky. It doesn't come from the words of a pastor or a religious person. It comes from our own efforts. And it has been all these years of work of people like John Fox, David Bloom, Joe Martin, people who have been working on issues of homelessness and housing and disparity of living conditions for people for years. That we have been able to get as far as we have. You know, I can only be here to attest to the lack of housing options until folks like Sharon Lee and other Fremont Public Association, a bunch of organizations that were created at that time to help us boost the development of low-income housing. Unfortunately, much of the boost wasn't done, very legally. We took over buildings one after another over a period of time. We were threatened by the police. We were scouted by ICE. We had, we took a lot of measures into our own hands. And that's what we have to do. We have to take measures into our own hands because the government is not going to defend us or support us. And we need to make sure that what we develop in Washington State and in the city of Seattle, and hopefully throughout the country, is a sense of community. That is what's going to save us. Because there's so much divisions and antagonisms being created as a result of this flared up racial tensions that have been sowed by the president at this given time. So, we need to fortify and strengthen and expand our ability to call ourselves and each other brothers and sisters. And I leave you with that. Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that, Juan. Nikkita Oliver, it's great to see you this morning. Let's hear from you.
It's great to see you as well. Well, peace and good morning. I'm here in the coastal Salish territories on Duwamish land, and just always want to take a moment to tie our land acknowledgement to real action and encourage folks to become real renters with the Duwamish, and put your action where your words and intentions are. We're in a really challenging time, and we're seeing the convergence of 4 major crises. Racism is once again revealing itself in a very overt way, though it's always revealing itself to cutie BIPOC communities that deal with it on a regular basis. There's a global health pandemic, an economic depression, and an ecological disaster that we're facing with the climate crisis. And when I think about what it takes for us to move forward, there's a James Baldwin quote that keeps coming to mind. James Baldwin said, we may not be able to change, we may not be able to change everything that we face, but we cannot change things until we face them. And in this moment of so many challenges, I think the invitation is to be willing to turn and face things, to actually be the change that, especially in the Pacific Northwest, we talk so frequently about wanting to see. I'm really excited to hear that COVID-19 mutual aid was highlighted for the work that's been happening. It is the mutual solidarity work, aid work that we do with each other that really starts to lay the groundwork and the network for our ability to keep each other safe. One of the things that the current movement has been saying as we talk about defunding the police is that we keep us safe, that by building in care, compassion, support, access to resources, changing the paradigm about who deserves what, reality is by simply being human and being here, people should have a right to housing, a right to clean water, good food, health care, economic and educational opportunity. Those are not things that should be determined based on work product, but just simply by your existence here in this space. And I feel like in this moment, we have an immense opportunity to really be challenging the problem of racialized capitalism. Capitalism as an economic system has been built to exploit the planet, to exploit humanity, to exploit creation, and has been set up in a way that we say we only value people based on their work product. And so when I think about what will really bring about change, it is having an abolitionist vision. I am an abolitionist, and that doesn't simply mean that I seek the dismantling of the criminal punishment system, courts, prisons, police, but it also means that, as Boca said, that we have an imagination. We are literally imagining what a world without armed police, without the criminal punishment system looks like, a world where people have access to the things that keep us stable and thriving and prevent us from ever having to encounter things like police or the criminal punishment system.